Hello everyone, Ioana here, and today I'll dedicate a song to you. I'd take you on a cruise. If I knew how to play it, it would be even better. But summer is here, so I thought it would be interesting to focus on something that screams summer, especially since we recently entered the last month of summer. Today, we'll be looking at some stocks in the cruise ship sector, a sector that was hit extremely hard during the health crisis and is slowly recovering. So, it might be an investment opportunity. And at the end, we have a surprise piece of information that even I wasn't aware of. Let's dive in. Before we move forward, today's video sponsor is the Freedom24 platform, and we're very thankful to them. I've left my personal link both in this video's description and in the pinned comment. And by using it, you're not only supporting the channel greatly, but if you're over 25, you get your first stock for free, worth up to 800 euros to kickstart your investments. And if you're under 25, you get a whole month of free commissions. While we're on the subject, give this video a like and leave a comment, even if it's just a heart. It greatly helps with YouTube's algorithm, and the channel wouldn't have grown so much without all your support. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Oh, and of course, share this video with someone. Have I told you about my free newsletter? Every morning in your email with programs, grants, financial news about Greece, our taxes, the developments. I have the link in the video description. Sign up and we'll talk tomorrow morning in your mail, ladies and gentlemen. However, the purpose of the videos is to entertain and inform. This is not investment advice. I'm an amateur investor. I only invest my own money. I am never certified. We never take financial advice from the internet. We only trust the experts, and we always conduct our own research before investing in any project or platform. Summertime by the beach. We must mention the cruises. I'm feeling a bit of the August vibe. But guys, the cruise ship industry took a huge hit when the pandemic broke out. Just think about the people who were in the middle of the Atlantic when the pandemic started and we had lockdowns. Terrifying and utterly stressful. Diamond Princess. This cruise ship was carrying 3,700 people, including its crew, when the pandemic erupted. It had to wait 3 weeks at the port until procedures were settled for people to disembark. And let's not even talk about the lives that were lost. Now, why exactly was there an issue? The logistics of operating cruise ships were quite challenging. It's nothing like hotels or airlines, because taking a flight or staying in a hotel can be considered a work necessity, not just for fun, whereas going on a cruise is purely recreational. So we're talking about a drastic drop. For instance, one of the stocks we'll look at today, the Norwegian cruise line, was close to $60 before the plunge, and it plummeted to $9 virtually overnight. Logically, as with many similar cases, the stock gradually recovered as the industry became attractive to investors again. As countries reduced measures against the coronavirus, the companies in the industry became increasingly appealing. For this reason, within a year, the company saw an increase of 43%. Not a bad return on investment, you'd say. Another powerhouse in the industry is Royal Caribbean Cruises. Before the crisis, its stock stood at $121. But as the pandemic hit, it plummeted to $21. Guys, we're talking about extreme drops, but the circumstances were very specific. These weren't drops due to poor management or because of shady business tactics. Yet, it managed to rebound, and within a year, achieved an impressive plus 156%. In just 1 year, the third stock is Carnival, whose story is, of course, no different from the previous two. At $49 before March 2020, down to $8 by April 2020. And guess the increase in a year, up by 80%. Something to keep in mind about this sector is that while we might associate cruises with summer, in reality, people cruise throughout the year. Because while we switch seasons in winter with sweaters and gloves in Australia, they switch wearing swimsuits on the beach. Also, now that the pandemic has subsided and all stocks and economies have turned green, the cruise ship sector is gradually following suit. What I see is that some stocks with healthy financial data are far from their all-time highs. Yes, these companies borrowed money to survive these past 2 years, but as we can see, they're reporting profitable quarters and their stock prices are rising. In a recent study conducted by Grandview Market Research, the industry is estimated to reach up to $15 billion by 2028, while in 2021 it stood at $7.1 billion and in 2020 at $7.67 billion. That's almost a doubling. Clearly, every stock carries a huge risk for me, and it requires a much more rigorous technical analysis than what we mention in this video. So, tread very carefully. Also, there's a corresponding ETF that tracks the sector. It's called CRUZ, and encompasses not just cruises but also hotel companies and airlines. Because after all, diversifying with only 4 or 5 companies isn't feasible. If we certainly don't want to take risks and prefer to observe developments while investing consistently, boringly, and long-term and getting paid from our investments, guys, DJRW, tax-free, a dividend of 2.2% and a continuously rising dividend. How do we purchase it? Open our account from the link in the description. So in a few years, the dividend might be 4 and 5%, The way to purchase it, if it fits our portfolio, is to get paid from our investments as they grow, regardless of whether the markets are up or down. Over time, we will be compensated. They will surely rise. The method to purchase it is simple. Once we've opened our investment account, from the link in the description or the pinned comment of this video, and I thank you very much for that, to get our first free share worth up to 1,000 euros. We log into the Freedom24 platform. Click on the Transactions tab and type in DGRWEU. We click to start a session. We enter the code that will be sent to our app for confirmation. And before closing, the surprise information I promised you. Which massive entertainment company has 5 cruise ships and has been sailing the oceans for 30 years? Disney! I didn't even know that. So, for those considering investing in Disney, keep this in mind. In conclusion, let's once again thank the Freedom24 platform which sponsored today's video. I've left my personal link both in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. By using it, you greatly support the channel and you receive your first free stock if you're over 25, up to 800 euros, just to give your investments a good start. But if you're under 25, you get an entire month of free commissions. I'm looking forward to your comments with ideas for upcoming videos, questions, or concerns about what we discussed today. That's all from me, sending you love and see you soon in the next video.